Hello friends, welcome to day 14 of the free web development course. So we are coming to an end of this course because I plan to complete React today, and after that we will do in the next week we will do 4 React projects. Okay, so we are coming to an end of this course because I plan to complete React today, and after that we will do in the next week we will do 2. Okay, so that's it. So we'll start in the next 5 minutes. So what I will do, I will take you through my channel now. Means I will start by 6.5. Let other people join it. Okay, so let me tell a bit about my channel and about me. So about me, if you want to know, you go to LinkedIn. That's the best place to know about me. Come here, view my profile. Yeah, and so who are new to this broadcast about me, so you can read about me here. So I currently work as an associate architect at InnoMinds, and I am doing this content creation for the past more than 2 years, and my book is also going to be published soon, actually, from a very big publisher. It's on Gatsby. It's a framework related to React, and it's much better than that. So uh, regarding that, why I am able to teach this web development, because I'm doing this for the past 10 years. I have total 16 years of experience, and I'm currently an associate architect in InnoMinds. And before that, I worked for companies like IBM, L&T Infotech, and I worked for the big company, a big bank, JP Morgan, for more than 5 years before that, and many more before that, Oracle, and started my career with CDAC. So passed out in 2004. So for the past more than 2 years, I'm producing content. I have writing blogs, and the past 6 months I've started YouTubing also. So this is my site. So inside there are more than 462 blocks are there, and they are not small blocks. They're all of them are huge blocks, like JS projects you will find, and everything you will find. So if you, whatever content is there on my YouTube, you can find it here also on my blogs. So everything you can find it here. I have a whole series on React basic, React hooks, HTML basic, JavaScript basic. So if you are a learner who read from the web, who reads from the site, you can come here, or else you can go to my website also. And I've created more than 400, I think. More than 400, more than 140 videos right now in the past 6 months. But you can see my subscriber count is still less. So please, if you benefit from this video, please do subscribe to my channel, and also please like this live stream. If you're in there in the live stream, please do like it. And as I've told earlier, I do daily try to publish daily videos on CSS, JavaScript, React, and weekly live stream on Saturdays and Sundays. And the best way to go through this channel means, mm, my intention was to help everyone become a web developer. Okay, that was my intention of starting this channel. So how does that intention get completed? So for that, I'm creating content like that, some easy tutorial and the projects. So if you want to start, so start from this HTML and CSS. You learn from the very basic, that HTML and CSS. Okay, so you start from here. Then you go to this vanilla JavaScript. Okay, so I teach everything, means from starting till the end. Means, see, this HTML course is also huge, and it has got a lot of projects also in it. So you will learn projects also. And then this JavaScript course, it is also very good, and it has got advanced JavaScript also, which has been not in taught at many places. So advanced JavaScript is also there in this. Okay, so that is there. And after that you should come here and do some Yeah, this ES6 course, this is a very good course which I'm very proud of, because this originally this course I created for Udemy. So but then I thought to release it on my channel, so it's a very professional course, and you will learn some good apps also here with ES6, which is the basic of React. Means you have to know ES6 before React. Okay, so that, then do some projects from the channel. Just JavaScript projects 11, I keep on adding to them. And then after that, you come here, this React.js tutorial. Then so this is also complete, and I am teaching from here itself. So React.js tutorial, then hooks. So today we'll cover hooks, in fact. So hooks are there, so hooks also you can do. Okay, so after that, I have some videos. This is a very good video, and this goes to the old type of class based content. So this is also very good video where we create a YouTube player, so you can go through that also. And then if you are in a hurry, or if you want to have everything, it should be there in one, you go through this free web development classes which I have been live streaming. So today, till yesterday, it is there, and I keep on updating this list. So this is everything. Means from HTML, CSS, we started Flexbox project, grid, JavaScript, DOM, everything we have done here. And then this the React.js tutorial which I did yesterday, live streamed yesterday, it is also there. Okay, so let's get I think we can start now, because it is already time. So it's better to start, because today we have to complete a lot of topics, so it might take 2 hours, might go beyond that, because I try to complete it in 2 hours, but it can go beyond that, because we have to complete the classes, then we'll go move on to hooks. So let us first complete the classes. Okay, so the classes, one of the main topic which was remaining was this means lifecycle phase, lifecycle methods, it was remaining. So let us start from there, lifecycle method. So let me present it. I hope you are able to see everything, see my screen well. Or let okay, so the lifecycle phases are there. So there are actually 4 lifecycle phases. These are not mattered. I'm talking about phases. One is the mounting phase. It is when an instant of a component is been created and inserted into the DOM. We'll see all the different lifecycle methods attached to this. So this is the first phase, mounting. The second is updating phase, when the component is been re-rendered as a result of the changes to either props or state. So whenever there is a change in the props or state, as I have told in yesterday's class, the this dot set state, when you do the set state, it re-rendered the component. Not only that, it re-rendered the every child component of that component also. Okay, so unmounting. So these two are very important phase, and we will look into it in detail. When component is been removed from the DOM, see, when you move away from a page which have something, that component has some things, so it is removed at that time. Then error handling, when error occurred, we will not see much about this here. Okay, so and then so now the lifecycle method names. Okay, lifecycle method names. So the lifecycle method names are: in mounting we have constructor, static, get derived state from props, render, and component did mount. Okay, and in updating, again we have the static get derived state from props, should component update, a new method is there, render, get a snapshot before update, and component did update is there. Okay, and mounting, we have component will unmount. And error handling, we will not look into this because they are hardly used. I have never seen them even used in a production based project. You can derived state from error and component did catch. Okay, so that's it. And so first we will see this mounting lifecycle method. So mounting lifecycle methods we are going to see have these have got the first is I have got constructor, then the get derived state from props is called, then the render is called, and then the component did mount is called. So before going to a code through the code, what we are going to do, we are going to look into this, means understand what these are. So first, the constructor, we'll understand the constructor. This is a special function which is been called whenever a new function is created, and a constructor is called only once. Okay, the constructor is perfect for initializing state and binding event handler. So we have already seen this binding event handlers, we have already seen that, uh, and initialize state through this dot state. Okay, so do not do http request from the constructor. This is a very big no, and need to call the special function super props. This is required to have access to this dot props in our component. Yeah, so this is required. Super props can set state directly with this dot state only in constructor. Yeah, this dot state which you do. Okay, and then the next one is get derived state from props. So this is a rarely used lifecycle method, and I have also not used it. It is used when the state of the component depends upon changes in props over time. Okay, need to return new state or null. Yeah, this is required in that, and you again do not do http request from this method. Okay, then the next is the render. So this is the only required method, and you are seeing it always in the class based components. Always it is there, this class based component. So it is only required method. So read props and state and returns JSX. Yeah, so JSX, all everything was there inside the render only. So do not change state or interact with the DOM or do http request from render. We never do that. Children component lifecycle method are also executed after render. After render, then only the children component are executed. Okay, so then component did mount. This is a very important method. This method is called only once. Okay, and it has been invoked after component and its childs are rendered in the DOM. So everything is been rendered in the DOM. So all the render method runs, after that only it runs. So perfect place to interact with the DOM or do http request. So children lifecycle methods are also executed after render. So yeah, so this we will see later on. So we are done. Let me increase the font size here. So, and let me increase the font size here also. I hope you're able to see. So this is something which we had made yesterday. So let me close it. Hope you're able to see my screen properly. Okay, so these all things we have created earlier. So to learn this, we will this is app. So this is a basic react which project which I have created, and different components we were going through yesterday. So right now my app doesn't have anything. So if I save it, see, nothing will be shown whether I am running it or not. Oh, I'm not even running it. So npm start I have to give to run my app. So it will start running. And it is running, starting the development server. Yeah, it started in the Chrome, but I don't like it in Chrome, so I will close it, and it is running perfectly. So here it is there. I think whether I should increase it one more time. Okay, let me increase it one more time. Okay, I hope everyone is able to see now. Okay, so we will create a new component called parent life cycle dot js. Okay, and it will be a class based component. So RCE, again control B, and then we will have a constructor also with our const. I am having this constructor. This state will have name is parent life cycle, parent life cycle, and we'll have console.log throughout our application so that we can see where the how it runs. So mainly I'm going to demonstrate that how what is the order. So okay, so it will be parent life cycle. Oh, I don't want this. Parent life cycle constructor. Okay, if I refresh this, nothing will come. Okay, parent life cycle constructor, and then this constructor ends here, and now we'll have our three mounting phase lifecycle method. Okay, so first we're seeing that, as you know. So static get derived state from props, and props comma state, these are required. CLG shortcut for this, and delete parent life cycle this, and we have to return something, so it's better to return null. Okay, I'm returning null, and then after that component did mount, we are going to do, and let me copy this only, and let me change it. Component did mount, I have changed it, and then render is there. So render is by default, it is there. So copy it, and let me do it here, and it is render. Okay, and let me write again parent life cycle. Okay, so this is done. Here I'm going to app.js and parent life cycle. We have twice, I don't know, I don't think so. I have twice this thing. Control B, no, I don't have twice. Okay, right, this is done. Okay, let me save it, and parent lifecycle, it is been shown. Okay, so now it has been shown. We want to see the mounting phase. So mounting phase, if you remember, so where it is, yeah, so mounting, let me open, yeah, so constructor get derived state from props, render, and component did mount. So it should run in this order. So actually it have already ran. We just have to open the console. Hope you are able to see my console. Let me do one thing. So for console, it is, you have to increase the size differently. Okay, so constructor is been called first, get derived state from props, then render, and then component did mount. Constructor get derived state from render and component did mount. So as I told, I want to show the order. So this is the order. Okay, so parent lifecycle we have seen. So now we will see the child. We will create a child component and see how everything behaves when you have a child component. Okay, so for that, let me do one thing. Okay, I'm copying everything. Okay, so it will be very easy to create. Then create a new component, child life cle dot js, control V, control B, control, okay, and before control S, let's see everything. I have parent lifecycle, so control C, control F, and what I will do, this should match child life cycle Okay, child life cycle I have to do, and let me replace everywhere. So everywhere it has been replaced with child life cycle everywhere. Yeah, so let me save it. And now what we need to do, we need to add this in our parent because it's a child from there. So let me come here. Okay, let me delete it. Let me make it h1, and let me call it after here, child life cycle. Enter. So enter it as auto import because auto importing this is required, or else it will throw error. Okay, let me then now let me save it. Okay, what I'm saving, I'm saving it. So now see the order. See, parent constructor get derived state from prop, then the render get calls from the parent. This render get called from parents. Okay, but one thing to notice that the component did mount didn't run. Then the render get run. Then the child constructor child derived state from props. Then component did mount, render component did mount of the child ran, and then after it came back, and then component did mount. So component did mount only runs when the whole of the DOM has been loaded, because some whole of the DOM has been loaded, which means that the child are also run from here, then only it runs. Okay, so this is we are done with this mounting. Now we will see updating lifecycle. So updating lifecycle methods. Okay, so let me go back and updating lifecycle, let me present again. Okay, so updating lifecycle methods, they are static get derived state from the same thing which we have. Then should component update, yeah, and then render. This is a new thing, render get a snapshot before update, and component did update is there. Okay, so let us learn about them. Okay, get derived state from this method is called every time a component is re-rendered. This is called every time a component is re-rendered. This is a rarely used lifecycle. Do not do HTTP request from this method. So this is called every time a component is re-rendered. And how does the component re-render? As I told, either the props or the state changes, then only a component get re-rendered. Okay, so this, yeah, this is a performance optimization lifecycle method, and this method is mainly for performance optimization, and I have seen it used in code when some production code gets very big. So we use this a lot, means we don't want to render everything. See, once the production code gets very big, what happens, it takes time for the API calls, and if you render everything, so we don't want to render everything. So this is, I have seen this used a lot in for performance optimization, and components was rendered or not. Okay, so then render, render what is only, it is only required method reads props and state and return JSX. Don't change state and interact with the DOM or do HTTP request from the render. Then get a snapshot before update, called right before the changes from the virtual DOM are reflected into the DOM, used to capture some information of the DOM. Example can be used to read the user scroll position. So yeah, so it can be used for that. Method would either return null or value. Return value will be passed as a third method to the next method. So get a snapshot before update. Yeah, so yeah, I have not seen that much used for this also. And component did update, yeah, this is important method. I've seen a lot of use, and everybody uses is called after the render is finished. In the re-render cycle, uses snapshot from the above get snapshot before update method can be used to do HTTP request. So component did update, yeah, this is a very important method. Okay, so maybe, yeah, so we are not going to see this now, and so we are seeing this now. We will see the example. Okay, so for that, what we are going to do, we are going to first means we are going to use the same thing only, but just we are going to add the three new methods. Okay, So let me add them. Should component update. Okay, and let me copy from here only. Should component update, and see, it returns either true or false. So I have to return true, then only everything will run, or else everything will stop here only. Okay, so then get snapshot before update, priv props, comma, priv state. Then again copy this, and get a snapshot before update. Okay, then return null, and component did update, and parent lifecycle component did update. So these three I've done. Okay, so this will only get triggered if the state or the process is getting changed. So the best way, if we have created this state, let us change this state itself. Okay, so after this parent, let me have this button, change state on click equal to, inside this you call a function here itself, this dot set state, we call this here itself, and name, I change the name to my channel name, the web dev. So again, if you guys have not subscribed to it, please subscribe and hit the like button. Please hit the like button. Okay, so let me save it. Okay, let me not do it right now. Okay, so then after that, the same thing we are going to do, these three methods we are going to do in, as you might have guessed, child lifecycle. Okay, so after this component did mount, let me come here, let me paste it. I think I have, yeah, I have. So I have replaced it, and let me remove everything, and let me save it. So why I removed everything? Okay, so this is how it ran initially, means without the change in strip. This we have seen in the mounting phase. Okay, so let me do it, and now we will see what happens, means when we will click this state, so the state get changed. Okay, so the phase, let me go back, it should run like this. Okay, so come here, change the state, and see, now I have changed the state, and now this get derived state from process has been run first. Okay, then should component update is run. Okay, then render is done, then the get derived state from process run, then the again the should component, so after the render is been run from parent, it has gone to the child it has gone, and here get again this get derived state from props, it is run every time. Should component update, this one, see, component did not run, and then the render is been run, and then get snapshot before update is run, and then after that the parent get a snapshot before update is run, and after that the component, see this order, this is a bit weird order. So after that this component did update or the child is been run, component did update, and then again the parent component did update. So this some of the methods are not ran this time, like component did mount constructor, all those things. So they run only one, as I have told, they run only once. So actually this completes our lifecycle method. And because of the complication and so many lifecycle method, only react hooks are when we learn react hooks we'll see how easy they are. And there is only one hook which rule everything, which is known as useEffect. Okay, so let me go ahead. The next topic which we are going to learn is uh, is Memo. But before Memo, we will learn about pure components, because pure components and Memo are nearly the same thing. One is for functional, and one is for class based. So whatever I'm telling till now means these were all invented before the means when the class based were so much there. Means today also every code, most of the code you see class based because hooks are very new. So let us do the pure component thing. Okay, let me actually do one thing. There are actually too many files have been created here. I will remove some of them, or what will happen. Okay, it's okay, we are done with it. It will give error, I know. Okay, so let me create a new parent com dot js. Let me get rid of this error first. Control X, Control S. Okay, so blank, we are starting blank. So to understand pure component means we will create a parent com first, and then from within it we will call a regular component and a pure component. Okay, so control B RCE I am doing, so have a class based component parent comp. I'm getting rid of the named export. Yeah, those who have joined today, this shortcuts you can easily get from this snippet, this ESX thing. So, and you can go through it and you can learn about it. But RC is a very good shortcut. Okay, so like this it is done. Then after that, let me come here and let me then have a r const. Okay, r const name is Nabendu. Okay, and then I will have a component did mount. So I will have a component did mount, and if we want to do some side effects or something, we should do it in this only. So set interval. So I am running a set interval. This is provided by JavaScript, and see what I am doing. Component did mount runs only once. Okay, but the set interval, what I am doing, this dot set state name Nabendu. Same thing. I'm keeping the same thing. Okay, same thing I'm keeping. And set interval, you can give another parameter. This So this set interval will run every 2 seconds. So every 2 seconds this dot set state will run, and whenever this dot set state is run, this render will happen again. Okay, so let me come here, CLG. Actually I need there will be a lot of console logs, so to show that I have to do this CLG parent comp render. Okay, so let have this parent component. Okay, parent component, and let me first create the component here, then we will have it. So we will create two components. One is a regular comp, and we'll pass a props name equal to this dot state dot name. Okay, and the second one will be pure comp. Again the state will be passed, and let me not save it. Okay, even if I save it, it will give error. No, because I have not included it, so it will not give error. Okay, so regular comp.js I am taking, and then it will be RCE again. Okay, so extend components, just regular component, CLG. Okay, you cannot have the CLG here. Actually it have to inside the render. Actually CLG regular comps render. Okay, and in the div regular comp, and we'll have this as this dot props dot name. This dot props dot name is a passing that props on the parent component. Okay, so this it is. Then we will create the pure comp purecomp.js. So purecomp.js. Okay, so RCE I will do, but I have to do something to change it. See, everything get extended from this component, but not this thing. There is something known as pure component. So this all we are doing for performance optimization actually. So CLG and pure comp render, pure comp this dot props dot name, just a props dot name. So I have done this. So now let me go back. Actually I have not included that, so there is a way to do this which I have not I think I have told yesterday also. So you come here, and then you do so I'm using a Windows PC, as you can see. So you do a control space, and it will pop this out, and see this is come again. Come here at the end, control space, then enter. Okay, so both of them are included. Save it, and now see my console is already running. Okay, so let me come here, and now I will do parent comp. Now the moment of truth. So what it is there means, what moment of truth means, what I wanted to show you all is that for what different behavior will be there for pure component and regular component. So let us see that. So let me save it. See one thing, parent component and regular component and PO component. See, after that, you're seeing every 2 second only parent component and regular component is running. The PO component only ran for the first time. After that, it is not running anymore. So why it is so? Why, yeah, why it did this thing? So what happens in pure component that it implements something called should component updates, the lifecycle hook, which we have seen earlier. And in pure normal component, it is always true by default, but in pure component, what happens, it do should component update, it implements with a state comparison. So what is state comparison? See, if you can see in the parent component, my state is Nabendu. This is the state also, I'm doing the same thing every 2 seconds. Nabendu only. So when it checked should component update, okay, it is the same thing, so why I should update? So only the first time it ran and it didn't run after that. So this is the power of pure component. Okay, so now it will keep on running. Let it run. uh, doesn't matter. So in React 16.6, Memo was introduced. So Memo is introduced and it is similar to pure component, but therefore functional component. Okay, so for functional component they are. So let's create the uh, functional component, and that one will be called memo comp.js. So we'll come to this hook also for it a bit later on. We'll soon start with hooks, so we will do that later on. So here RAFCE, because we're creating a functional component, okay, like this. And then here also I will get the name like this. I can do destructuring in a functional component. Let me get some more space here, and here CLG and memo comp is like this. Div, not this, memo comp and name, okay, like this I will do. And then let me save it. Let me go to the parent component, and I don't want this anymore, so I don't want this anymore. And but now I want memo comp, enter, enter. Think it got, yeah, it got there. So the import has been done. So after that, name equal to this dot state dot name, I am passing it, save it. So again the same thing will start happening. So how to use the memo component means that feature, so that it and do that comparison. So it is very easy. We have to come here. So it is again refreshing 2 seconds. So we have to come here and we just have to use a higher order component. So react dot memo we have to do and wrap it in it. Now let me do it. So see, after that, yeah, parent component will render, but the memo comp will not render again. Okay, so this is it. So then after that, what we are going to do, we are going to learn about refs. So refs So refs are very important in means both in class-based component and in hooks. Refs are very important because even though React tells not to directly access the DOM, there are in almost every production project you have to use these refs. A free production project, the refs are used because you want to access the DOM, because there are many functionality that are not in React. Means React, when jQuery was there were a lot of functionality were there in jQuery, but React, a lot of functionality is still coming. So sometimes you have to interact with the DOM to have many functionality which are not there in the React. Means although it is not advised, but there are no other things like that. One of the classic functionalities there, having access to this mouse position, so that for them, that also you need some access to DOM. Another is that which we are going to see the other thing. Okay, so the other thing is, right default, that input box is there. It whenever a box is there, we want direct highlighting of that box, input box. So that is not a we cannot do that from React, so we have to use refs for that. So let me stop it. Actually it is annoying, it's a bit annoying, so let me stop it and let's go to the insulate. Okay, so now let me come here, refs demo dot js, refs demo dot js I will do, and again rce. Okay, rce, remove the default export, control B. Okay, and let's have a input box here, input type equal to text. Okay, then let us include this refs demo. Okay, we press the enter, then only it comes, refs demo is there. So we have a big input box, so that is the main thing. And now as I have told you, see the input box is there, but by default the focus is not there. What is the focus? See, sometime in many websites you might have seen, when you go there, by default the focus like this comes here. Okay, so this is the thing which we are going to create with refs. In this right now we don't have this. Okay, so let us go ahead and to our refs demo, then here or const, again a shortcut which gives this cool snippet, but we don't want to do anything with the state. So refs, we can directly access anything to refs. So super props, then this dot input ref equal to react dot create. See, it is already showing, my VS Code is already showing, it is create ref. So like this, it is, I am getting access to the ref. Okay, so after that, okay, so we have to attach this ref to somewhere. Okay, so for that, here we'll come here and ref equal to, this is a keyword again, this dot input ref. I'm attaching it here. Okay, so I also want to see what is there in this this dot input ref. Okay, so what I'm going to do, component did mount, actually we're going to use it soon also, clg this dot input ref, and let me save it. So this dot input ref, see, I have access to everything, means in this box, and everything I have access. So this is what is now a JavaScript thing which I have access. Okay, so let me come here. Everything means height, files, trackable. So there are many cool things with JavaScript which we can do. This client height thing. So there are many things. You can find many good projects on YouTube also which uses this thing. So we are going to use this thing. So how we are going to use, so component did mount. I have to come back to component did mount, and let me do this dot input ref dot current dot focus is a method which this all are the DOM. See, when we get access to this, we get access to almost everything in the DOM. So this I have to do. Okay, so let me save it. Okay, so let me refresh it. Is my thing running? This dot input ref dot current dot focus. Yeah, react dot. Yeah, it is running. See this. Now I will refresh it, and it is by default it is here. Earlier it was not there. It is there, so it is running. So that's it in ref. So there are a lot of use cases, you can find a lot of them online. So this is what refs, it gives access to the whole DOM thing in React, which is generally considered not a good thing, but it is required. And this is generally last strategy, but it is required, and not that much performance hampering is also there, I have seen. So everybody uses it. So the next thing which we are going to see is a thing which is known as context API. And many people say this context API have means with that we can replace Redux, but actually it is not possible to replace Redux with context API. Yeah, with hooks and a lot of things. I'm not going to teach Redux. Redux is a very big topic, but you can actually, I'm going to soon produce YouTube videos on Redux, so you can go through it. Means if you want to, means everything from basic, I will, means I explain through the basic like this, so I will explain it into the basic. Okay, so you can go through that Redux soon. So context API also means the problem with Redux is that that state is there, state. And another problem is that there is a prop drilling problem in React. So prop drilling problem, what is the prop drilling problem in React? So let me show the prop drilling problem. Prop drilling problem in React is that, see, suppose my app is there, one app component is there, component C is there, some prop is there which is needed in the C component. So I have to go through the A and a B component, then only it can be passed to the C component. I cannot pass directly to the C component. So it is a waste of code that they are not even using that prop or that data. So this is where context comes into picture. So many people think that we can pass something, so it is a replacement of Redux. Okay, so yeah, in smaller project it's a replacement of Redux, but not in bigger projects. The central state management is required. Okay, so let for that also we will create a lot of components so that we can see that the prop drilling. So first component which we are going to create is a child.js, then RCE, this, and the child component Okay, then we will create a parent component. Okay, so it will be parent parent dot js. Okay, again a RCE, because we are learning class based components now, like this. And here let me render that child which we have just created. CHILD, enter, so that I will have that child in parent. Then you might have guessed what I'm going to do. grandparent.js, grandparent.js, and again RCE, and then parent, enter. This parent is come, so like this. And now we want to show it. So even before showing it, okay, let me first show it. Grandparent ref stem I don't want, control X, control. Okay, so child component, because the text is only there in the child component, they are only passing through. Okay, so now I want to pass some data from, as you might have guessed, to from the app to the child component without going through this. So for that, the way is that pass through grandparent, then from parent, then from child. Okay, so there is a better way to do that, and that is known as context. So for that, what we are going to do, we are going to first create a new file, user context.js. Okay, so here it is not a complete React class based or something like that. Import React from React, we have to do const user context, just a variable, equal to React dot create context. See, it is already there. React dot create context is already there. And then const user provider. We're soon going to use this, so don't worry. So in context, one of the main things is that there is a provider and there is a consumer. So user context, which we have just created, user context dot provider. So these are all inbuilt function, that user context dot provider, these are there. Okay, so const user consumer equal to user context dot consumer. Okay, and we are going to do a export of these two, user provider and user consumer. So this kind of export we are going to do. Let me save it. Now back in our app.js, where we have that grandparent, what we are going to do, first user. So as I have told, there is a provider and there is a consumer. So provider, whenever we want to pass some data from somewhere to some other place, so we will use a provider there. Okay, so user provider, I will do, see, one more thing, it did the named import. Why? Because we have exported it like this, not the default one. Okay, so user provider, let me close it. Let me move this grandparent up. Alt and up key, alt and up key, through that you can move anything up and down. Alt and up key and alt and down key. So this is a very handy shortcut. Okay, So this grandparent. So we have to wrap everything, wrap the main component where it is a grandparent. Generally it is done in app only, this user provided. You have to wrap every component. Now what I have to do, I want to pass some value equal to Nabendu. I have passed. Okay, so value equal to Nabendu I have passed. Let me save it, and then now we have to use it somewhere. So where we are going to use, so we don't want to use it in the grandparent parent, whether, so this is the first level, this is the second level, this is the third level, so we're using it in the third level. Okay, so here to come here, and here it gets a bit tricky here. Okay, so let me write it in h1. Okay, h1 I have written it. Then this return is there. I have to come here, and as you might have guessed, I have to use the user consumer now. User consumer. Oh, 2 times. Why it had came 2 times? I don't know. User consumer like this I have to use, but I cannot use it just like that. Means it is not useful. So let me cut it now. Okay, so we have to use inside this. So anything goes inside, you know how it works. And then username. So this username, you can take it anything. See, I have passed it as value, so I can use any name here. This is not a keyword, this you can use anything. Okay, then like this. Then again this is a function. Then I have to come here, and then from here I have to do again a return, because I am going to have multiple variable. And then fragment. Why fragment? Because I'm going to have 2 lines, that's why fragment. So now this h1 component, and I will have a h3 hello, and now I can use the user name. Okay, so let me save it and see. Hello Nabendu. See this Nabendu I have passed from here, and I'm using it here. Yeah, the thing is that to use it, it's a bit complicated. This user consumer I have to do, then I have to do this render props type. This is the render props type of thing, and then I can use it. Okay, so actually there is another way to consume the value in any component. Okay, so for that first we have to do a default export. Okay, so the default export of export default user context. I'm passing the complete thing, so passing the complete user context also. So you can do both type of thing like this. And now in the parent component, see this parent component is also second level deep. This is not the first child graph. After app there is grandparent, then there is parent. So if I use it here also, some props, it is a big thing, because I can use it 10 level deep also. So I'm going to show another method to use context. Okay, so that time come here, and then import user context from the file I'm taking, that user context. So this was a default export. See this default export, so I got it like this. Okay, and now again I want to use that, I want to get that Nabendu value. So how I will get that? So there is something, there's a static type, static. So inside here, static context. Yeah, another thing is that this is again a keyword, this context type. Okay, static context type, this is keyword equal to user context you have to give, and it will be done. Only this much we have to give. Okay, so how we are going to see that whether it is working? So h1 parent component, and then we have to use it in a weird way, means uh, context type I have given. Okay, so I have to give this dot context. Okay, again a keyword, okay, this is again a keyword, this is also keyword, this is also keyword. Save it and see. Parent component Nabendu compo. Okay, so Nabendu is coming here also, and from the child also. So this is how context API is, and this is how it is simple. This is quite ugly also, render props, and it's a bit difficult. Suppose I am passing another thing, so it will become a lot more complicated, but here it is much more easier. Okay, so the next thing which we are going to learn is HTTP request. Okay, so HTTP request through our React. So for that, generally what we do for that, we use something known as Axios. We will install that. Okay, but okay, we can what is an API endpoint actually? So uh, in every application, wherever it is there are something known as API endpoint, which are made by, okay, like I will go to JSON placeholder. This is a fake API endpoint, means if you go to this site, JSON placeholder, so it's not a fake, but you get the API. Means in real world projects, you have to, the backend team generally makes those API. So if you hit an API, so you have to use some request known as get request, post request, all those things. So get request, get the data. See, the best example is suppose you go to facebook.com. So Facebook, when, and you have a lot of posts, so a get request has been done to an endpoint and you get it. Okay, so and when you post something, when you write something and hit the post button, a post request has been made to an endpoint. So this is a way to learn it. Okay, so let me this, we are going to hit this get endpoint. So whenever we hit through this get API, get endpoint, we will get means it is not showing here correctly, array of object. Actually I don't know, means in Firefox why it shows like this. Okay, Chrome will it open here? Yeah, let me show it. Yeah, so it has been shown perfectly here. So see, if I hit this endpoint by a get request, so you can learn about get and post more, means so uh, what will happen means I will get an array of objects. So this is the preferred way in which we get anything over the web. Array of object, one object, two objects. So in objects we have title and body. So this is suppose you have a blog website which have got many blogs, so you'll have title and a body will be a lot of other things. So when you go to the main page of a blog website, just like my website, when you will go, so it will hit an endpoint and will get all the blog posts. Okay, so my website doesn't even have a post, because you cannot post something from there, you have only get. So this is what is get. Okay, so uh, we will understand it means well through again example, but this is very important concept, this get thing, and this how to hit an endpoint, because this is how real project works. Okay, so me close it, and and close this also. We don't want this anymore. Save it, and I'm going to have a post list dot js. A post list dot js, then it will be rce. Okay, and let me save it. Let me first bring it here. pos to post list yet came. So just like that, control B, and then I will hit the endpoint with r const. Okay, so the way to do this, hitting that endpoint, we want to hit that endpoint to get the post. First, let me have a state of posts, and which will be an empty array. Why I'm taking an array? The one of the reason is that, see, this is an array. Inside it's the array of objects. Array objects are there. So I will prepare something like this. So empty array I have taken, and then inside the, let me have h1, and inside the h1 list of posts, save it. So h1 is there, save it. Okay, so this is there, empty array. Then as I have told earlier in the lifecycle type, that in component did mount, we generally do the API calls or some this is also known as side effect. So component did mount, I'll do, and there are there are 2-3 ways to do the API call. Means one is through the inbuilt fetch API, and in most of the places in the internet you might see the Axios thing. Axios thing is quite popular because it is a bit more popular than fetch because it has got one lesser step actually. Okay. And it is a much more powerful, but for simple thing I generally prefer fetch. I also love Axios, by the way. So a URL I will give. What is the URL? This is the URL. Okay, this is the URL. Then const res equal to await. So there are 2-3 ways to call this. Actually you should go through my promises YouTube video for this. I have explained it very well. Means this is again a JavaScript concept. So fetch URL. So await I have to give either because this returns a promise actually, so you cannot use it directly like this. So either you have to use a async await format, or you have to use something known as then and catch statement. So they are the latest way. So await is even later way than the async await. So means then the then and catch. So await I will do, but for await to work the containing function have to become async. So I have to write async here, it is required. Okay, const await fetch URL. But here is the thing for which people hate fetch. I don't get it directly like that. Means console.log res. Let me do this res. Inspect element console, remove it. Okay, let me save it. See, I am not getting anything. Means here in the res it is still actually it returns one promise, and then I have to again call it that, then only it will return the promise. So this is something for which people don't like REST. So let me do show it. Const post, actually in access we get it in one step, so wait, but for that we have to do an npm install. So here we have not even done an npm install. Dot json we have to give call the function rest. Whatever we're getting by rest, we have to call it through the json, and then I will call it the post. Okay, and see, now see what happened. Let me refresh it again, because that was from the earlier thing. Okay, so I got everything as an array of object. Everything was written. When you hit the endpoint, you get an array of 100 objects, same thing. So we exactly got the data. So this is how data travels in the internet. This is how when you go to facebook.com, you hit the endpoint, you get all your posts. So now we are seeing this get only. Okay, so now we got the data, but we want to show the data. So how do we show the data? So this post array is empty now, so I want to fill that array. Okay, so how I will do that? This dot set state, and post is, so we have the same name, so it's okay. So post, this is this post, and so this one is this post, and this one is this post. Okay, so we save it, and then after that, here we let us do the destructuring. Const posts equal to this dot state. So this dot state means this dot is, this line means that const post equal to this dot state dot post. Okay, so we got it like this, and then I have to wrap it in a fragment, because I'm going to show means list of post also, obviously. And so as I've told in yesterday class, we have to wrap it in a fragment. Okay, so then inside this, whenever we want to run something, we have to run inside it. So posts, so why I'm or I have to do something like this, means again we'll be using a lot of concepts here. Posts and then, so the react renders quite fast. So what happens, I have to first check if there are posts, and then post dot length, this is also I'm checking whether it is empty or not, and then only, or else it will throw error. Pos posts dot, we use map a lot in react, map. Then I'll use the individual, this post, this I can give item also, this doesn't matter, means I can do it here only in a single line. I can do the complete thing. That's the power of map. Okay, so div, and I have to show ps post dot title. I'm only showing the title. You can create a component to show everything, so that's a home of you, show everything. Okay, and key equal to post dot id. Okay, so we have to give key, as we have seen yesterday. So let me save it and see, I got everything here. Only the title I'm taking, I could have given the body also. Let me give the body. The other thing is known as body. Yeah, the thing is known as body actually. So let me save it. Yeah, I got the body. Got the body of all the posts. So this is how it is. So we have successfully done the get. So the next thing which we are going to do is another thing known as the post. So when you post on Facebook, as I have told earlier, so we are going to do that. So for that, post form.js I have created, RCE I have done, Control B. This one I will delete. Then R const. So I'm going to have some things here. User ID is this, comma, title. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to have a form. So most everywhere, so when we submit something, it is inside a form. See, you might have seen the input box in Facebook, so in which you write the post. So that is the input box or a text area, something like that. So and you do it there. So body like this, user ID, title and body I am giving. So because I will take that in an input box, and then after that they're empty string right now. So we have seen that form yesterday, the last thing which we have seen. So this is that. Okay, so after that const, we are destructuring it, const user ID, comma, title. I don't know why these things are coming. Quick fix and all these things are coming a lot nowadays. And here, see, even I'm not able to move my mouse. So this user ID, title and body I'm doing, and then equal to this dot state. So I'm destructuring it. Okay, then form I'll do. So I will use div as yesterday, so that everything in div is a block level element, and inside that I will have that input. So what will happen, it will go to the next line. Okay, input type equal to text, let have the name also, name equal to user ID, value equal to also user ID. Let me close it. Okay, it is done. So second one is title, third one is body. Okay, so my post form is done. Now, as you might know that we have to have on change handler here, so that we can use it. So we have to do that, and we have to have a button also. So button type equal to submit. So this is a special type of button which takes all of this, all of the data from here. So when you give a type equal to submit, it will do that. Submit I have to do. Okay, and then first let us have this on change here. On change equal to this dot handle change. Okay, this dot handle change on change. Actually, we are going to do a little trick here. So that in the previous example which I have shown, I have created it 3 different functions were there, but see what we are going to do. So this is only applicable means all of them are input boxes, means only the name and all these things are different. Okay, so this now this handle change will contain a very good logic. Handle change equal to e, and obviously this dot set state we have to do here, and we were targeting that e dot target dot value for each one of them. So what is there, we have used name for a reason. So we were making the when we are doing that, we are making that user id equal to e dot we were making something like this. I will say we're making something like user id. This is for the earlier example. So e dot target dot value. So because it's a controlled statement, so we are doing like this. But we cannot and we have to use different functions, why one for first one for the second one for third one. So this is the way to do it, but we don't want to create 3 different functions because all of them are input. So what we have to do is, see, user id is in the name only, so name title body. So and a person cannot change all the 3 at the same time. So this user id is there in the name, so we can get it by by that. This is again a thing which I have taught in ES6 also. E dot target, I think default parameters or something it is called, e dot target dot name. E dot target dot name I have to do, and it will take this name and e dot target dot value, only this much code, and it is done. So this will get replaced by this user id. Okay, so and now we'll have a on submit also equal to this dot handle, oh no, this dot handle submit. I'll do and before that let me post form. I have imported that post form so that I can see it in the browser. Yeah, I'm seeing it in the browser. So the post request we will handle it in handle submit. This is handle submit. So handle submit equal to async, because we are going to use await inside it. So async e, can give it like this, e, and as I have told earlier, e dot prevent default, okay. And so the thing is that, so the URL for post is also slash post actually. So we have to hit the same URL again. Okay, so here only we post it. So const URL equal to the same thing. Okay, it is the same thing. Okay, so after that with fetch, you can see with Axios it is very easy to do a post request, but with fetch there is something in it. It means we have to do it, we have to pass the settings actually here. So const settings. So and you'll, that's why you'll not find many example on internet or YouTube for this post, because for fetch with post. So settings, I have to pass a setting also, and So in post request, we generally pass data to the backend. So we have to pass all the things which the user have typed, his name, his user ID, title, body. We have to pass it. Okay. So method is post. We have to give the method as post, comma, header as headers. We have to do the headers as accept this application is JSON. So this is a hard, this is the thing which is a boilerplate thing. This you have to do every time. So no need to understand, learn it. I content type, but I cannot have a spell mistake here. So see, this I was going to have a spell mistake here. So const type is again not const type, it is content type is again application JSON. So everything we passed as a JSON only there. So you have to type it there, and then body dot, no, not body, again a key is this JSON dot stringify. So JSON dot stringify is a thing. So suppose the JSON is the JSON is nothing but a key value pair object in which the key is also double quotes. So this dot state, and in whenever we post something, we convert it into a string, but it is a JSON type of a string. Okay, so JSON dot stringify this dot state. So this dot state we are doing because our state contains many things, all these things. Okay, so JSON dot stringify this dot state. So now our settings subject is done. Let me check once again if everything is right. Except content type, yeah, everything is right. Bodies JSON dot stringify. Okay, okay. So now I have to send it. Okay, so const res equal to await fetch. So see, for the get we have just fetched an URL we have to do. Okay, so here what is the difference? We have to pass the URL also, and you might have guessed we'll pass the second parameter as settings, this settings, which has got our whole state also. Okay, so then after that const data equal to, as we have to do with the fetch, await res dot json. Okay, and the actually the post doesn't return something, means you can always console log the data, but it is something that you have passed it to the your database or something like that. So next we'll do clg of, let's see the data if it is getting passed. Okay, so now let me do inspect. Okay, post form is there. Okay, yeah, post form is there. Okay, so the user ID can be 23, title basics JavaScript. JS is a very good language. Okay, so let me submit, and I got it after a second because it was successful, and it was, I have got it. Okay, so this is how post works. So think we are done with class based component finally, but it took a lot of time. I didn't thought it will take that much time. So we will start with hooks actually. So there is a lot of thing in hooks. So let me drink some water and I think it will take some time. So let me take a small break. I will come in 1 sec. So let's get started with React hooks. So what are hooks? Hooks are the new feature in addition in React version 16.8, which allow you to use React feature without having to write a class. And my personal view is that hooks are very good. If you are starting a new project today, or if you're starting even a new startup today, you should not go with functional class-based component. That lifecycle methods are a bit of a pain to understand, and hooks actually React is very small. As you might have guessed, I have completed React in 1 day. That class-based component, that is not true with Angular. So if you want to do something, you have to use means start something new, use only hooks. But classes are very important, or else how you will know the pain of a lifecycle method. Okay, and if you are going to work in enterprise, you will get the old projects and classes only. So you have to learn classes means and it's sometimes a very big pain to convert it into hooks. So if you're starting new, use it folks, but please go through class-based components. They are very important and they're here to stay. They will not go anywhere, or half of the React project will fail. Okay, so with hooks we have the state in components. Means in functional component we have the concept of state, and hooks doesn't work inside classes because they are meant for functional component. And why hooks? So why did we require the hooks? So we need to understand how this keyword used in JavaScript and also bind event handlers in class component. So this were to so we have seen that bind thing earlier, that bind problem which was happening, and we have to use arrow function or something, and class-based component have this at all places. Sometimes we need this, sometimes we are not using this. It's very difficult. Classes don't minify well and make hot reloading unreliable. Yeah, that is a problem. Is the React code which we are saying, it doesn't goes like that in the net. It goes through means something known as minification of the code happens in a browser. And so it doesn't minify well. And hot reloading is the React features in localhost. If I change something, it instantly changes in the localhost. So that is something, so it doesn't goes well. Complicated HOC means higher order component. So the higher order components are a bit complicated. And the render props pattern. So we have seen the render prop pattern a bit. I have not gone through HOC and render props because anyways they are not that much used. Means if you have to learn Redux, a bit of HOC is required, but now Redux also have hooks. but it's okay. Means you nobody builds HOC or render pros pattern. They're very good patterns to share the data, but they're very complicated. As a bit of render pros we have seen in the context, the first way. Okay, so that's why they were a bit complicated logic. The logic were not complicated, but a lot of boilerplate code were there actually. So when create component for data writing, that code is not organized and you have to use different life segments. So we have not seen this example completely. When generally what happens, you do the post through a component did mount, and sometimes the props change, you have to receive it through component did update, and all those things are there. So that is a very big pain. So the first hook which we are going to learn is the state, because that is the main concept, the use state hooks. So it lets you to add state to functional component, which was missing in the functional component. In classes, state is always an object, but with use state hooks, state doesn't have to be an object. So we have always in a this dot set state equal to an object we used to give. Okay, so we'll see this thing. The hooks returns an user state hooks returns an array with two element. First is the current value and second is the state setter function, similar to set state. And this is also very powerful thing. Okay, so again, let me come here, let me delete this, delete this, save it. And again, to understand class based this use state, what we are going to see, what we are going to do, we are going to first see create a class component and then change it to a functional component which you will use the state. Then it will be easier to understand. So for that, what we are going to do here in components, I'm going to create a class counter.js and then RCE. I have done. I will remove the default export, Control B, and this is a simple counter. Okay, R const. I've done. Count is 0. Let me cross it. Okay, and then here I have a button, and button will show the count as this dot state dot count. Let me save it and let me also show it here. Class counter. So by default the count is 0. Okay, because the initial value is 0, so I am showing the count inside the button itself, as you might have guessed. On click, so on click handler, because I want to change the state, and it will call a this dot increment. Okay, let's do one thing. We can yeah, okay, that will be because if we can directly, instead of creating a function, we can do it here also, but it will become a very big statement. So it's better to do it in a function increment count. Okay, then increment count. Then the first problem with class based component, we have to use the arrow function. It is required, or else you have to do that that bind thing. Okay, so then this dot set state and this count is this dot state dot count plus 1. Okay, so this is how it is there. So I have saved it. So nothing is special. We've seen this thing a lot of time, and If I increase this, it will increase, it will work properly. Okay, so now we'll change this thing to a hook. Okay, hook based counter. So that will say hook counter dot js, and then RAFCE is the short form, and that's our component is been done. And then okay, okay, someone is asking me some question. Okay, so let me reply. Okay, so Maharishi Pandey, he is asking me a question that I am new to React. Which component should I learn, class or functional component? Which is the future? So the actually, let me reply here itself. Where I have a StreamYard. So future is function component, and they are easy, they are very easy. Actually, the function components are very easy, but if you are going to work in a are going to work in a company which already have some project, %90 chances are there that it's actually let someone when they will come back, that it's will have class based components. So that's why class based components are very important to learn, and first you should learn class based component, and then only you should come to this. Okay, so that's it. So let's go ahead. That's why a bit of class based component is also required. If you're going to work in a startup which is creating a new project, then it is not required. So it is like that. So hook counter, and you'll see how easy is this functional component. And so const, so we're converting our class based component into a functional component. Count set count. Yeah, as I have told, we are using too much ES6 concepts here also. This is array destructuring 0. Okay, so what does this statement means? This statement means there is a count variable just like here, which is a state variable. Yeah, and one more, not use count, it is use state. Okay, yeah, so it got imported. You have to import it like that or it will give an error. So what this statement means, this means this count is there and this 0 is there. So 0 is the initial value. See where what we have done, the count we set it as initial value. So this dot state, so this are exactly done that thing, it is having a 0 value. Then this set count is nothing but set state, but here we are calling it set state. But in hook count, what happens means in the use state, what happens, this have got different names, and generally it is said that you should, whatever you take the variable name, you should append set to it and make it a camel case. Okay, that is the industry standard. Okay, so that is like that. So but if I have 3 4 state variables, what will happen, it will have a different name. So that is the thing here it is a fixed name, set state, but here it is not a fixed state, a fixed name. Okay, so like this I have done. Then button hook count is count. So hook count is count. So let me save it. And now what I am going to do, I'm not going to remove it. Hook counter, I am going to give the hook counter. So I will save it. So hook counter, I have saved it. And then see the initial value is 0. So the initial value is 0 here. So now we have to change it. So how we are going to change it? So we are going to change it with on click equal to an arrow function. So we could have used that arrow function here itself also, but as I've told, it was a very big statement. So I'm going to call it here itself, set count, instead of, so set count is there instead of set state count plus 1. So count plus 1 I have to give. So this is another thing. See, we are not calling it with this dot state dot count. All those things is not there. So it is very easy to call it with count plus 1. So this statement set count is count plus 1 is exactly similar to this complete statement. Okay, so let me save it. And so this was earlier working, and this is also earlier working. This is also working. So this is how we introduce state in a functional component with this use state. Go through it once, twice again, and you will understand it. Compare both of them and you will understand it. Okay, so this is how the use state is been done. Now what we are going to see, we are going to see another way. As I have told in class based counter, what was the issue? The issue was that not an issue, but the state is always an object. Here it was actually a number, just a number. So you can have it as an array, object, and many other things. So if you want to go into detail, means what it is, you can check my React hook series on YouTube or on my website. So it's better to see it on YouTube, so I go in much more detail there. So let me do another example. Okay, so components and hook counter 2.js, then control B, RAFCE I have done, hook counter 2. Then the main thing is that const items comma set items I have to do, and see use state. See, auto import is coming, so it is auto import, and inside this it is not required that you will always give a means number or something. So I can give an empty array also. Okay, so and okay, so let me do one thing. Let me remove this two, hook counter 2 I have done, and let me save it. So nothing is there right now. So Then after that, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to have these items created, means let me show it. There will be a button, add a number will be there, on click will be equal to add item. This is just a function. Add item is just a function. So let me create that first. Const add items equal to nothing we're passing, set items. So this is how we can set the item, and inside it we'll use, so set items is there in this set items. Then inside it I'm passing an array. So an array, what I'm doing, I'm using the spread operator, dot items. See, right now we don't have any items, but we can have a lot of items, we'll soon see. So not 2 times or 3 times, this is a spread operator, dot items. So whatever is there in the array, right now it is empty, but then it will contain many things. So dot items is there, then comma, then we'll add it as an object. So array of object, it will contain id, it will be items dot items dot length. So item dot, initially when it will do, items length will be 0. Okay, so but it will keep on increasing, value will be, so I'm taking anything, math dot random, I'm running maybe into 10, I'm running math.random into 10 I am giving. Okay, so after that, and unordered list is there. Oh, so unordered list I'm creating because I want to show this, so show this item. So okay, then items dot map. So first it will be empty, but then we'll keep on adding it. Item lie. So key, we can have a unique key, because item.id, what we are telling, it will always be, first time it will be 0, then 1 2 3 4, like that, it will always be unique. So key is always unique. So id item dot value. Okay, let me save it. So add a number, the button is there but no item is there. So I click on it and the number is getting added. Click on it, the other number is getting added, and it is iterating through everything. So it is showing a random number between I think 0 and 10, into 10, whatever number you give, it will show between that. So this is working perfectly. So this is how we can use an array also. Okay, so use state. Now we will see into one of the very important hook, which is known as the useEffect hook. So useEffect hook, so this is the hook which replaced almost all the lifecycle method. So this is a very powerful hook, and if you know only useState and useEffect hook, you know 90% of the hooks. The rest of them are some performance optimization, and even we have hooks known as useReducers, which actually I have on my YouTube channel for useReducer. So I will soon have that on my YouTube channel. If you follow my hook series, you will get that. So useEffect is used to do the side effects like DOM update and API call, which are always an important part in a functional component. The API call, which you have seen at last, it is a close replacement for component did mount, component did update, and component will unmount. Actually, 3 lifecycle methods. The rest of the lifecycle methods were not that much used, as I have told earlier. So these were the 3 lifecycle methods which are always used: the component did mount, did update, and will mount, unmount. So it is the replacement of that. Okay, so there are many use cases of useEffect hook. So it is important to know all of the use cases of useEffect hook. So the first thing which we are going to see is a useEffect hook after render. We'll see. So after render, so again after render we'll see then what we are going to see. We are going to see change a component did amount and component did update combination. So to understand useEffect hook, the best way is to again go through class based component. Okay, so let me come here, and in components, right, class counter one.js and RCE. I will do export. I will give up, and then come on, control B. I'll do, and then R const. I will do count again. This is sort of counter we are going to create, but it will be a bit different. You are soon going to see how different it will be. Okay, so this class counter one, let me save it actually and remove it, class counter one, save it. Okay, right now nothing will be shown. So we'll have two lifecycle method, because the component did mount we'll see first, which runs only once, as we have seen in the lifecycle method. So component did mount and document dot title equal to, so we are changing the title. So title is nothing but this thing. Okay, so clicked this dot state dot count times, and the second one will be component did update. So we have not seen did update. It means did update we have seen. So it will run every time the component something changes, props or the state changes. It will run props comma brave state. So again, this is a very important life cycle document. Okay, why I am typing it again, because it will be exactly the same thing. So now let me complete it, and then I will do button click this dot state dot count times on click equal to this. Will directly do this here itself. Is this one, this dot set state. Instead of creating a function, we'll do it directly here. Count is this dot state dot count plus 1. Okay, So this is done. Clicked 0 times, and now 1. See, this one got changed, 2, this got changed, 3, this got changed. So it is working perfectly. Means what happens the first time, what happens, this component did mount ran and it show that thing. But whenever that we do the this dot set state, this component did update ran actually, and that's why it got changed. So this is a combination which is required at almost every class based component. So we will now change it to a hook based component, and we'll see how to do it. Means that hook counter 1.js, and then RFCE I'll do. Then since we have to maintain some state, like we have to maintain a state, we have to use the user state again. Okay, so const count comma set count equal to use state. Auto import is coming, which is good, and it will be 0, and then return button, click count times, click count times, and then on click will be there. On click will be equal to function and set count. So this we have seen earlier. Set count plus 1 I have done. Okay, so this is it, and let me actually include this hook counter 1. This we are getting from here, and let me refresh also. Yeah, so then we want to combine these two, component read mode and component readable. This is what we are after, so that right now nothing will happen, because we are not even we are means we want to change that this. Okay, so how to do that? So we have to use the use effect, use effect, like this. Okay, then an empty function, we are going to do a function call, so we have to do it like this. Okay, then inside it we have to do everything. Okay, so use effect, let me first, and let me import it also, or else it will give some error. So use effect, and then document dot title equal to clicked. As we don't have this dot set state, the count we can directly use this count times just this. So the moment I did this came. So what does that mean? That means that I just executed component did mount. Okay, so then after I have to change it, it is getting changed. So what does that mean? That means that component did update is also running. So simple to change this to into a use effect. Means so simple it is. So this is how it mimic this component did mount and component did update. Okay, so this is a powerful. uh, Now what we are going to see, we are going to see some more use cases here. So condition, we are now going to see the conditional use effect. So conditional use effect we are going to see. So for that we have to create something known as again we will see it through, as I've told earlier, we will see it through class based component first. So let me do one thing. Let me I will copy this only. Counter 2.js. Okay. So two, yeah, both of them two. And then what we are going to have here, we are going to have another state variable known as name here, and then click this to state.time, and let's have a console.log here, which will say updating document title it will say, and your back here we are going to have this name. Yeah, we're going to have an input box also. Okay, so let us have that input type equal to text. Let me close it. So value equal to this dot state dot name, close it. On change, as we know that we've seen a lot of forms till now, means we have to do that on change. Yeah. So it's better to call a function here itself, e this dot set state. I'll change the name, e dot target dot value. Okay, so done. Let me do one thing, value in a different line and this on change in a different line, and if I have done, so this is there. Okay, so class counter 2, let me have a console open also, because I've just put the console, so I have opened my console also. And what else, go back here, class counter 2 save. So this is there. So if I click on it, let me come back here to class counter this. So if I click on this got changed and updating document title, which is perfectly fine. Okay, so again but the problem is that, see, this input, this is also changing a state. Okay, so let me type, and this got increased, it means it got fired again, and Nabendu, so it got fired every time when I have typed this. So this is not a desired behavior. So because I'm not changing the document title, so, and my code for it is in component did update, so why it is getting fired every time? So this is not a desired behavior. So to check this thing, so fix this thing, what we do here in class based component, if prev state, so we have access to the previous state. Previous state dot count is not equal to this dot state dot count. Then run this. So what does that mean? So both of the count are different, and that will only happen when you click here. That will only happen at that time. So let me save it. Okay, so everything got updated. Let me delete it, refresh it, and now see, click it. Yeah, it got updated. This I typed it, nothing got updated. Nothing got updated. Clicked it, it got updated. So this is how we do some performance optimization here. So now, as I have told, we are going to change it to hook. Okay, so again, hook counter 2.js. Okay, hook counter 2.js is already there. Okay, what is there in hook counter 2? Okay, let me remove it actually. Hook counter 2.js. I've done Control P, and I will again copy in this Control P, and then what I'm going to have, just like close this, two I will do. So now again, as what I have introduced a new piece of state called name. So I will come here and count name comma set name equal to use state, and it is an empty string at the start, and then use effect. Okay, use effect also I will do a clg. I want to clg use effect. Let me copy this, updating document title, click count times. Okay, so now the first thing which we are going to do is input, have this input type equal to text, value equal to name. So it is also very easy to do it here. Change on change is e, and we just have to do set name is e dot target dot value. Okay, so and we are done. So let me, why it is showing, okay, whatever. So counter 2 we have done. Then let me now include it. Let me save it. Set name is not defined, where why it is giving me this. Set name is not defined. Why I cannot define it? Did something changed in hooks? Name is deprecated. Type name. Let me take it item. What else? Set item. Value is item. What issue I am giving? I am not understanding. Type value on change. Count is been taken from here. Do I have to give a comma and then it's semicolon? Oh, I got the error. What is this? This is not count. This is const. Shit. Why it is showing again count? Const. It is const. So this type of error happens. Okay. So it's okay. So what I was going to show means first we are going to see that issue, which again we will have having updating document title useEffect Nabendu. It got called so many times. So we want to implement something like this if brief count. So it should the first time when it got called, it is okay, but the second time, because the use effect contain your component did update also, it should only be called when the count is increased, not some other state got increased, because there are many state on this, there are another state also here. So there is a second parameter here, comma, and here I just have to give count, just have to give this count. Okay, so let me save it, delete it, refresh it. First time updating document title comes because use effect is also our component did mount, so it came, it's okay. Okay, so then after that I will click here, so it will come. Okay, so because I've clicked it and the count got changed, but now I type my name and it doesn't got, because this time item got changed. The count is didn't got changed. Item got changed, and this is how it works. So this is so powerful. See, this much code we have changed to only this second parameter. Okay. So the next thing which I'm going to show is use effect only once. So I want to run use effect only once, not like the two cases which we have seen right now. So use effect only once means we want to mimic the component did mount, only the component did mount. So that is also quite possible with your use effects. Everything is possible actually with the use effect. So for that, too much counter example we have taken. It's time to do something new, because we are also bored with counter example. So you might think I only know only counter. Class mouse dot js. So again we are first going to see the class based component, then through that we're going to see how it has been done through hooks. So RCE, remove this, Control P so that I get some more space, save. class mouse. So the mouse has been done, class mouse, and nothing has been shown. Okay, so come here, our const x is 0, y is 0. Okay, so the two things, x and y, two variables are there, x and y, state variables, x and y are 0. And then I want to show x is this dot state dot x, and y is this dot state dot y. Let me save it. Both of them will be shown as 0. Okay, so as it is known as class mouse, so what we are going to have, component did mount. So we are replicating that component did mount, and window dot add event listener. We are using that add event listener mouse move. So when we are moving the mouse, then this dot log mouse position, I'm going to do this dot log mouse position, and then log mouse position equal to have access to e, and then this dot set state x is e dot client x. So e dot client x is something which we have access this x in the e, so it logs the mouse position. Actually y is e dot c is actually c is small, so that is very important. Let me save it. And so the component did mount, when this fires for the first it runs only one, that add event listener on mouse move, and it will set the position. So like this it will change it, so it is working fine. Okay, so now this is what I wanted to say. This component did mount, it fired only one and it ran. So now the same thing we are going to do with hook. So as you might have guessed, it will be not like this. Hook mouse.js RAFCE control B. Then first we will quickly change this to a hook based thing. So const x comma, yeah, one thing which can be annoying to some people, that we have to create a lot of this stay for use state. We have to create for every variable, we have to create a different one. Okay, so set x in class based component, we can use it inside the same thing, this dot state. So use state 0, but something that can be problem also, because I know from production level project, I know that thing, that these are the use state sometimes get very huge. Set y, and then hooks x is x comma y is y. Let me save it. hook mouse. I will do now only hook mouse, hook mouse, hook mouse, save it. And now my hook mouse, it is been shown. So yeah, it is giving some error because I have not set anything. So let's quickly do that. And for that, we'll use the use effect. Like this only we have to use always. Then let's have a console.log also. Hook use effect called. Okay, and just why to type it again. But we don't have this now. Const log mouse position, e will be there, and then set x is same thing like e dot client x, and set y is e dot client y. Okay, so the thing is that directly I will show how to do this component date mount. So component date mount, in the previous example what we have seen, we can pass something here, it depends on that. But if you pass an empty array, what does that mean? That means that this use effect will just behave as a component date mount, and it will only run once, it will not run again. So okay, use effect is okay. Why use effect is not defined? I just imported it. Okay, and it is working perfectly. And see, hook use effect called. So the main thing is that hook use effect called, it was only called once, it was not called twice, means, or else it will have, means when I'm moving the mouse it will have called 100 of times. So it is not called this. So this is how it is done. Okay, so now the one more thing which we are going to see in use effect is the use effect with cleanup. So use effect with cleanup, because use effect have a feature for component will unmount also. So component will unmount, we will see how, we have not even seen component will unmount. So this way we will see that component will unmount also. So let me, for that we will create a new component actually known as mouse container.js, mouse container.js. Let me close it, and it will be a RAFCE. Okay, and just a const display comma set display equal to use state, and we can have a boolean also here, so it is true. I have done. Okay, and then inside the div I will have a button which will say toggle display and on click equal to this function set display equal to not of display, means it will keep on changing it. So it will if it is true it will make false, if it is false it will make it true. Okay, so after that button is there. So if the display is true, if the display is true, then and show the hook mouse. So auto import has been done. Hook mouse Okay, now hook mouse, we have to do one more console.log here. Let me come here, clg mouse event I've done. Okay, and then this will not call hook mouse directly, we'll call the we'll call the mouse container. Let me save it, the mouse container. Where is the use state not defined? Okay, now it is. Why use state? I just defined the use state. Okay, so by default the toggle display is true, so see, it will, let me show again. Okay, so what happened, hook use effect call. So let me come here, hook use effect call, so it was called the first time. Okay, and a windows dot add event listener has been done. Okay, so now if I come here, see, the mouse event has been fired so many times. Okay, now I am going here and I'm doing toggle display, so it should remove this. So toggle display is there, so it should have removed this, it should have removed the hook mouse, but still it didn't remove the hook mouse. In fact, it is increasing. So we are also getting an error that, and it is exactly telling us what to do, use effect cleanup function we have to do, or else the cleanup is not done, means it is not done properly. So where to do the cleanup? So if you think, I'm not going to show for that, but the same function, same issue will come here also in class mouse also. So how to do the cleanup here? So in component will unmount, and actually there is a similar function which is not add event listener, it is remove event listener. If you do this thing, it will happen here. Okay, so okay, let's do one thing. No, we have to do a lot of console.log. It's okay, why not do it, clg component did mount called component will unmount called, and mouse event, whatever. So let me do this, and what I'm going to do now, instead of hook mouse, I'll call this class mouse. Okay, it is component did mount was called. Okay, then mouse event is happening, mouse event is happening, mouse event is happening. Okay, mouse event is happening, but then I come here, toggle display, component will unmount is called, and see, no mouse event is happening. So the same thing now we are going to do with hook mouse. Okay, so how to do that with hook mouse? So in hook mouse, just like component will unmount is there, we will come to hook mouse here, and in the use effect only we have to go, and we'll have return this, it will call a function, actually return this, and then inside this clg component unmounting code like this. And as you might have guessed, this code I will run here. Remove event listener, but there is no this here. And let me save it and remove it, refresh it. Use effect called, yeah, okay, use effect called. The first time it will get called. Then the mouse event is getting fired. Then I go to toggle display. Toggle display component unmounting code is called. So toggle display was run from here, so it toggled it, but this, as usual, this part was run. So now nothing will happen. So this is the power of hooks. So this unmounting code, this is how we do the unmounting code. So actually I have completed 90% of hooks. Actually, there is something known as use context is remaining, which I was going to teach today. Uh, then I wanted to teach use memo hook, and other thing use ref hook. So those three things I'm planning. It is already almost 3 hours. Those three things will take some time, it's maybe half an hour or 45 minutes. So that I will teach in the next class. So next class, as I was thinking to do 2 projects of React. Yeah, I will do those 2 projects of React. And in the next, so we are done with React actually. So React is so small that actually if you don't even learn those use context right now, it is done. Means use state and use effect completes almost everything. So we will learn about those. And if you want to learn more about use state hook, actually means hooks, I will tell you to come here and keep notice of here. So see, everything is there. Use effect with cleanup, fetching data which use effect. Yeah, this, so it contains extra things. So use context and all those things are there in my channel. So I have created a very good, means it is not, yeah, and it is complete also, means till custom hooks. And I'm not going to cover everything, but I'm going to cover the main thing in the next part. So hope you liked this series, and hope you liked everything of this training. So we will actually meet next week now. So I will see you all soon. Thank you for the support.